Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Greatest Blueprint. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Kathleen Walls. Deana Davis is on her way in. She'll be in just one moment. So while we are waiting for her, be sure to get your pen and paper. All right, here she comes. Do, 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 there she is.
Hi.
And we're going to say it again.
Yes.
All right. So I am trying to figure out here. I have this on multiple platforms, and so I'm getting feedback.
Oh, that's what
Can
I
you hear it?
hear. I hear it sometimes. What are we on?
Yeah. So we are on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram Live, and we're on YouTube Live.
Oh, okay.
hmm
And
So
this
we
is
may
all
have,
through that one
yeah,
platform?
this is all through
Okay.
StreamYard.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have Miss Hutchie just joined. Hello there.
Hello.
So I may have to end, unfortunately, I may have to end the Instagram live because if the feedback doesn't stop, I can't concentrate.
Well, do you hear it? I don't hear it anymore on my end, but do you hear feedback on your end?
Yeah, I still hear it on my end. So
Okay.
if people are on Instagram, oh, Mrs. Hutchins said, I love you guys.
Oh, we love you too.
Yes, but you can come on over here to YouTube and ask Dr. Walls 525. I'm surprised there's not a way for me to mute it.
Mhm.
So trying to figure it out. All right, so I'm gonna have to close it. Unfortunately, let me see. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to shut it down because I can't be listening to me twice. I won't be
Right.
saying anything.
Mhm.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right.
Mhm.
In the meantime, hello. Hey, Les.
Hi.
All right. So they already know what to do. Get your pen and paper ready. Do, 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 do. Yes, it's a song type of day. That's just the way it
Okay, that's the way it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the way it is. So beware. All right. I'm tired. And that's the way it's gonna get me through.
Yes.
So how
Ditto.
okay, like I said, so how are you? But you've just answered it.
Yeah, I'm tired. Not in a physical sense, like not like I need to be in a lay down, but
Mhm.
my brain has been on go since 9 a.m.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, it's a nice little stretch and
Same here.
being a mom in between and
Mhm.
handling
Mhm.
business. So
For
yes, it's
sure. For
it's
sure.
a day.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that because I had told my mom asked me, she was like, well, what's your day like? And I was like, 9 to 9.
hmm
And she was just like, she said, and who
Yeah.
does your schedule? I was like, we're not going to discuss that.
Yeah, me. I do it.
Every single time. I can't tell you why, but I do.
Right.
But no, I do know why. It depends on, honestly, it depends on the schedule. The holiday is next week.
hmm
So
hmm
it's making sure, trying
Yeah.
to make sure everybody gets what they need
hmm
before that holiday. And a lot of people are taking off next week, which is nice.
Yeah.
So being able to accommodate people
hmm
accordingly. So,
hmm
just taking all that into consideration. So now, where are
Yeah.
you with holiday preparation and so forth?
In terms of taking off or just
Anything, just
family
period.
stuff?
Yeah.
Well, holiday stuff, my holiday stuff is done, like gifts and everything. I was done yesterday.
Mhm.
So gifts are out the way. In terms of my schedule, I'm still working. I took off to Monday and Tuesday, of course,
Okay.
but Wednesday, Thursday, and I think Friday, I'm working in the day, like in the
Mhm.
morning, it's like the afternoon, because my people are off, so they
That's
want to
right.
get in
That's right.
during that time. I have a lot of
Yeah.
teachers and
Yeah.
people that work nine
Mhm.
to five. So they're like, oh, we can come earlier. So I kind of like
Mhm.
stack them so
Yeah.
that I'm done by like 3. So it's not like a complete, like,
Yeah.
wash. So yeah.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of times, depending on which business, for
Yeah.
me, holiday time ends up being increased work time.
Mhm.
So that's
Mhm.
why I end up taking off what are considered like odd times,
Right.
because during those odd times, that's the only downtime
Yeah.
I can find. So with the
Mhm.
animal care center, so for those who don't know, I do have an animal care center, which is called
Yeah.
Green Street Animal Care, which specializes in boarding. So
Mhm.
when people are going away
Yeah.
on vacation,
Yeah. During
right,
the holiday.
at the holiday, that's high
Mhm.
time for us.
Mhm.
So we're not off. So a lot of times people be like, "Well, what'd you do for Thanksgiving?" It's like play with your dog,
Right. Took
right?
care of
Right.
your children, your babies.
Took care of your fur babies.
Mhm.
This is what we do during that time. And to your point, right, as far as my people clients
Mhm.
are concerned, they're off during the day. So instead of meeting at night, we're able to
Yes.
meet during the day.
Mhm.
And we also know that holiday time can be very stressful
Mhm.
for people for various reasons. So as we're talking, and we already told y'all, get your pens and papers ready, please take note of some of those things that
Mhm.
we mentioned that may be stressors for you. So, for some, this is the first holiday or a
Mhm.
reminder of going through a holiday without a loved one, be
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
that they've made some sort of transition. They may
Mhm.
physically still be here, but y'all ain't together no more,
Right. Mhm.
right? Or there
Mhm.
may be some sort of family strife that's
Mhm.
taken place, and people have decided not to participate
Mhm.
in the family activities or the
Mhm.
holidays,
Traditions. Mhm.
traditions. Thank you.
Mhm.
And then someone may have made their transition from the physical realm into the spirit space.
Mhm.
And so that's that reality. And
Mhm.
everybody responds differently to these things. Some people are
Mhm.
kicking it up and saying, "Oh, great, Miss Aunt so and so ain't coming over," right? So,
Right. Or at peace. You
or
know.
at peace,
Mhm.
exactly. There's the reality that everyone is responding to these changes differently.
Mhm.
Some people don't want to do the traditional
Mhm.
holidays anymore. I remember when we decided we weren't going to do the tree
Mhm.
anymore. And I used to love the tree. I loved to decorate the tree, and it was so beautiful. But
Mhm.
I got tired of the pine needles
Yes.
that lasted for months
Mhm.
afterwards.
Mhm.
So go ahead. What are you thinking about?
No. I'm actually thinking about the vacuum. You gotta
Yes,
constantly keep
yes.
vacuuming.
Mhm.
Yes.
Poking you in your foot, right? So these are things, and it was like, okay, but we still want to have something.
Right.
What do we do? So then I
Mhm.
went through, let's have a basket of plenty, and I got a big old wicker basket and put a blanket in it, and then put all the gifts inside, and it was really cute. And
Mhm.
so we did that, and it was easy, and the basket was functional because during the rest of the year it would hold magazines or
Right.
whatever else, right?
Mhm.
I'm in the functional stuff.
Mhm.
So it was like, okay, that worked for a while. And then people got married or got in relationships and started going to separate locations
Mhm.
during that time of year. So it was just like, okay, what do we do? What do we do
Yeah.
now? So
Mhm.
constantly reinventing and being aware of current circumstance.
Mhm.
So on tonight's show, as we were saying, reflect, set, go,
Mhm.
right? It's a time of reflection for a lot of
Mhm.
people also. What do you want to do now? How do you want to spend the holiday now? What's coming up to mind for you with you and or with your clients?
Well, a lot of my clients, honestly, we haven't really been talking about like the end of the year reflection, so to say. It's just more so about like, relationship stuff. But it hasn't been like, okay, we're closing out
Mhm.
2023, let's transition into 2024. Like, what do you like
Mhm.
setting goals? That's more so been an internal reflection for myself.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm.
So, just thinking about like, reflecting on the year.
Yes.
2023 went by really, really fast.
And it's so funny. I don't feel like it did.
It did for me.
And you keep
It
and
was like,
yeah,
mhm.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it was like January hit and it's like boom,
Mhm.
January again. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I know that I accomplished a lot during the year, even like just personal internal healing work for myself and,
Okay.
business wise, but it was like blink of an eye. It's
Mhm.
about to be January 1.
Mhm.
So for me, because it went such a fast pace,
Okay.
it's me thinking about, okay, what all did I do? Like going back
Mm.
to each month
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
saying like, okay, did I hit the goal? Is there something
Mhm.
more that I need to do? Did I do too much? So that I
Mhm.
can reflect and not do more of the things for
Mhm.
2024.
Mhm.
So yeah.
That's such a good question. Do
Mhm.
you do more of the same or do you do something different? And I hope
Mhm.
people are taking the time to think about these things. And this time of year, I think, at least, specifically in the Northern Hemisphere, because we do have a global audience, so we got to take that
Mhm.
into
Yes.
consideration,
Mhm.
right? In the Northeast of the United States specifically, it is winter time.
Mhm.
So it gets darker earlier. I mean, technically, the first day of winter is on Thursday.
Mhm.
But it gets darker earlier. So you're not spending as much time outside. So it
Mhm.
kind of fosters
Reflection.
reflective, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. And then it's the end of the year. People do have off from work a couple days. So you have a
Mhm.
little bit more time to reflect.
Mhm.
Unless you are someone such as ourselves who build it into your life.
Mhm.
And that's something we definitely encourage you to do, to build some reflection time into your day each day. And it doesn't have to
Mhm.
be an hour. If it is, great. If
Mhm.
it's 5 minutes, great. It's
Yes.
just taking that time for yourself to reflect, to make
Mhm.
sure your life is going the way that you want it to go.
Mhm.
Uh,
Imbalanced.
mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. And right, and that you're tapping into and activating the different parts of your life that make it your life.
Mhm.
As I mentioned, the F in life stands for fullness.
Mhm.
And so what makes your life full? What are you incorporating that you want to make sure you continue, as you
Mhm.
mentioned, right? What aren't you incorporating that you want to make sure, hey, wait, I got to make sure I start adding that into my life going
Mhm.
forward because I've recognized that I haven't been doing it.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So, what are some things, if you care to share,
Mhm.
for
That's fine.
yourself that you want to make sure that, in December 19th, 2024, you're saying I incorporated? Because I will say this and then I'll let you talk.
Mhm.
It was 2020, um, during that pandemic year when everything shut down. And then next thing I know, the whole year had gone by and it was 2021. And I was like, dag. And I look at all the changes that took
Mhm.
place in people's lives in 1 year. And
Mhm.
it was like, well, what changes happened for you in your life? Like you
Mhm.
didn't capitalize on that time. And
Mhm.
so when September 2021 hit, I was like, I don't want to be in the same space
Mhm.
physically for me in 2022.
Mhm.
So that's when I was like, all right, let me jump on the Kaizen improvement program with
Mhm.
Edna the nutritionist.
Mhm.
And that set the tone for timing. And
Mhm.
so it was like, okay, now what do I need? Now at the end of 2023, what do I need to make sure I'm incorporating on a regular basis? So go ahead.
Right. Well, it's funny because I looked at my screen, which is my holds
Oh,
my
yes.
vision board this morning,
Hmm.
and
Explain to the
preparing
people what you mean by that. So for people might be interested in doing that
my
for
digital
themselves.
vision board.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of people do vision boards and they use like magazines or pictures and cutouts. I'm a very technologically savvy person, so
Mhm.
everything I do through my phone, like literally, it's insane.
Mhm.
So I decided to create a digital vision board in Canva, and posted it, I made it my screensaver on my phone. So
Mhm.
every day when I'm looking at my phone or unlocking my phone, if I need to just, a visual pickup or
Mhm.
inspiration, I would just look at my phone. So this
Mhm.
morning, as I was just reflecting on the day, but also preparing for tonight, I looked
Mhm.
over my vision board to see, okay, what goals did I hit? What goals didn't I hit? And what do
Mhm.
I want to incorporate, into next year?
Mhm.
So the things that I hit was discipline. I wanted to be more disciplined
Mm.
with like more healthier eating. I think I accomplished that because I incorporated juicing. I eat more
Yes.
salads.
Yes.
I drink way more water,
You are doing very
teas.
well. Yes.
Yes.
Your
So I was
vitamins, your
like,
supplements.
my
Mhm.
supplements. TikTok
Mhm.
University is
Oh, goodness
everything for
gracious.
me
Yes.
because if TikTok said it, I'm
Right.
buying it. TikTok made me buy it.
This
And
lady,
then the
she just
vitamin.
said on there, she was just like, "Oh my goodness!" She's like, "Between TikTok and Amazon, I have like $100,000 in my cart." She was like,
It's
"Not one
it's
more thing."
It's crazy. I say TikTok so much, people be like, "Okay, you and this TikTok," like,
Right.
I'm like, "It's for real." But the thing with TikTok though, um, TikTok will give me the information, but I will do the research for
Very
myself
good. Yes.
to make sure that it will fit well for my body with
Yes.
other medicines that I possibly
Yes.
taken. So I don't just jump on, but I do generally feel like if it's a natural
Mhm.
supplement and it's not going to
Mhm.
interfere with anything, like it's what harm could it really,
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
B12 and
Yeah.
D3, that
Like, yeah.
combination. It's like it's
That's what was
already
just on. It
vitamins.
was a D. It was vitamin D and K. And this guy
Oh,
was talking about, and it was a brand I had never heard of before. So, like you, I'll do the research as well. And it was like, oh, what's this brand? And the same thing
right.
with like the greens, the one that's going around now, the
Yes, the
whatever,
kala
Kala
and
something greens,
mhm,
exactly. And it was
mhm,
like, okay, what's
mhm.
in that versus what's
The
in my
other,
multi green, you know?
right.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
but go ahead.
So yeah, so I do that, and discipline was one. I didn't really get to travel as much, but I'm feeling
Hmm.
like, it'll
It's
come.
coming.
It's coming. Um, what else? What else did I? Money, like the financial goals. I
Hmm.
feel like 2024 is the year.
Mhm.
Relationship goals, just personal,
Mhm.
internal, maintaining
Mhm.
my home to a certain,
Mhm.
status,
Mhm.
things
Standard.
like that.
Mhm.
Standard,
Mhm.
yes.
Mhm.
Friends, like I think I came to the acceptance of like things that didn't come or things that were removed, I
Mhm.
accepted it. So
Mhm.
whereas I wanted an abundance of like, my soul tribe and my
Mhm.
people, they
Mhm.
haven't came yet and some people were removed. And so it's
Mhm.
like, okay, being in a space of accepting that
Mhm.
just because you have the vision board of what you want, it doesn't mean that it's going to occur and happen that same year. Like I think
That's
I have
right.
like being engaged and this and
Mhm.
that. I'm not
Mhm.
engaged yet.
Right.
So, but I'm not beating myself up for like,
Right.
what did I do to not be engaged? Like, it's
Yes.
just not time. And
Yes.
really settling into that space, like, okay, I could add, this can carry over because I
Yep.
still want these things. And
Yep.
then I can add new things. So that's what I was
Yep.
reviewing this morning. Like,
Yeah.
what can come off and what can be added.
Mhm.
So,
And
yeah.
I think that's so important, right? And again, this is part of the reflect. And tonight's show was reflect, set, go, right?
Hmm.
And so we have to take a look at sometimes there's things that we may put on our list now as people are preparing to go into 2024. And then when you get into January, February, March, you may decide, no, that's not what I want. And
Hmm.
so, which is why we encourage regular reflection
Hmm.
for you to say, I'm gonna put this off,
Hmm.
I really need to double down. We're now
Hmm.
into March, and I have yet to dot dot dot. What are my action steps? I've recently been reminding people and
Hmm.
clarifying with people that goals are just a series of action steps.
Hmm.
Okay. So the clearer you can get on your action steps, the more likely you will achieve your goal. And you need to take a look at what is preventing you from achieving a particular action step.
Hmm.
All right. Go ahead.
One thing that I found on TikTok,
All right.
this lady, she said, before you create your vision board, create your blockage board.
That's interesting. Do
She said
tell.
create a board of things that are blocking you from the visions that you want.
Mm,
So let's just say I want to lose 20 pounds, right? What is
okay.
blocking you from losing the
Mhm.
20 pounds, or what has
Mhm.
blocked you for 2023? So
Yes.
once you get clear on your blockages, it could be negative self-talk, or
Mm.
lack of discipline, or lack of
Mhm.
support, family support for your
Mhm.
children, lack of
Mhm.
finances to go to the gym. Once
Mhm.
you list all of those things down, then you can assess on whether or not that should be on your vision board.
Mm.
Because until you tackle all of
The
those things,
blockages.
right,
Mhm.
it's still gonna be a block. It's just gonna carry over and carry
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very interesting. She
Yeah,
said
that
before
is
you create
interesting.
that, create the blockage, like not like a board, but more so a list, so that
Yeah.
you can. Hmm.
Yeah, because a lot of times when I have people create goals, I also have them create what are the threats, right? What are the
Hmm.
threats or the barriers to achieving those goals, which is how I look at a blockage list or
Hmm.
board, right? Because we
Hmm.
have to figure out how are we going to overcome these
Right.
things. So I
Hmm.
know before, I've always been a healthy eater,
Hmm.
and every once in a while there's a snack or two that I enjoy. And when I was in high school, it was Cheetos. I love me some Cheetos. And so
Hmm.
my father would buy them relentlessly.
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
was, and then when I started really starting to pay attention to dyes and things like that and foods, and I was like, I don't think I want to do that anymore. And I
Hmm.
would stop. He would still continue to buy them. And then he
Hmm.
would buy apple pies and he would buy all that. And I'm like, Daddy, this is not going with what I'm trying to do. And
Hmm.
that's really when I was like, well, you don't, I'm not buying groceries. They buying groceries, right? Because I'm
Hmm.
still a child at this point. But
Hmm.
ain't nobody feeding me but myself.
Hmm.
Right.
You don't gotta eat a little candy.
That's right. You got to find your self control. You have to find your discipline.
Hmm.
And so looking at those pieces, within self.
Hmm.
But I will say that I did have to turn to him and go, could you just pause for a moment so
Yeah.
that I can strengthen the self control? Like I
Hmm.
have it, I'm aware of it, but I would really lack a little help and support from it. And
Hmm.
he's like, and now my father, he was and I know Leslie is cracking up because he was oh, come on.
Mhm, mhm,
You can, so
mhm,
I get it honestly. So,
mhm. Yes, as you bought me, I'm like, bought me a whole bag of chocolate. I'm like, what are you trying to do to me? Like, you know I can't eat this.
you say it was on
And then
sale.
tells me,
Right.
right, oh, by the way, I bought you a bag of chocolate. I was thinking about that too. I was like, oh, I'm so proud of myself because I would have took that bag of chocolate, but I left it right there
Yes, you did.
on
It's been,
purpose.
yes, very good. Look, here go Les.
Mhm,
Sure was. Look, and
mhm.
you did. But what did I say to you? If you want it, it's
Right,
here.
but your
But it don't.
tone. Come
Right.
on. Come on.
Are you
Like you
saying
got to
I
be
have
a
a persuasive
strong.
tone? Are you saying
Yes.
I have the gift of
Yes.
persuasion? All right, y'all. Well, if
Yes.
that's the case, y'all, I have these books here. Look,
Let's
come,
have it.
come on, come on, come get you some. Come get you some. But God
Yes.
said,
It's the sweet, like, if you want it, like, girl, like a grandma. Yeah, grandma was like, it's okay, you can eat it, you can exercise
that's
tomorrow, enjoy
right.
yourself now.
That's right.
No,
We'll
grandma,
laugh
I'm gonna
and
be
talk.
hacking by
Right.
myself later at night, and you're gonna be asleep, and I'll be dying. And this is you in real life, because then you're gonna be like, you're coughing a lot lately,
Right.
but I'm like, man, you just gave me a whole bag of milk chocolate. This is why I'm coughing, because of you.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
And I'm so glad that you pointed out. All right, y'all. You hear the self
Mhm.
control and this strength. I love it.
Mhm. Mhm.
All good. I'll pedal. Look, I'll pedal it off to somebody else. Leslie is cracking
Please,
up. Look,
please, cause she know you be feeling all bad. Like, fine, like just give me the bag of chocolate and be regretting it at home. Meanwhile, she over there drinking a green juice.
right.
No, not today, Satan. You will not. I felt the persuasion.
Oh, she made my cheeks hurt, y'all. So we are finding our strength in 2023 to carry it
Yes.
over into
Yes.
2024.
We ending
Very
it
good.
strong.
Yes.
Yes.
Well done. Well done. No, but right, the preparation I think is so important. I thought I had brought the book down here, but I didn't. I must have left it upstairs.
Mhm.
I had started reading the book Fit for Life that
Yeah.
Chef
Mhm.
Babette had talked about on one of our recent shows. And
Mhm.
if you haven't seen that one, I encourage you to go back and look at Chef Babette. It should be in the Sisters for Harmony playlist on
Mhm.
my Ask Dr. Walls 525 YouTube channel. And she talked about three books: Fit for Life 1, Fit for Life 2, and the Mucus Less Diet. So I haven't looked at the mucusless diet yet, and I did page through Fit for Life 2, but I've been actively reading
Mm.
Fit for Life 1, and
Okay.
it gives a shopping list. It
Mm.
gives time of day that you should eat. It talks about
Mm.
food combining. And
Mhm.
so for me, it's like I know what to eat for myself in order to achieve certain looks within my physique, but
Mhm.
this is giving me the why is it happening.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
for me, that helps me double down
Mhm.
into it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so it's like, okay, so like yesterday I went out and I went shopping and I
Mhm.
gathered some items. So for instance, some people are like, what? Like for instance, the book talks about the elimination period during the day, being between like, I think they said like 4 a.m. and 12 noon. And
Mm.
so you want to make sure you're taking in foods that increase the elimination process. So that's a lot of fruits.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. And then it
Take
was
it. Eat the fruits during that
eat the
time. Is what
fruits
it's saying.
during that time, right,
Okay.
to increase what your body is already naturally doing at
Okay.
that time.
Mhm.
And then from like noon to 8 p.m. is something else. And then from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. is something else.
Got
And
it. Okay.
so, like I said, I'm just reading it, so I don't know it yet.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I was like, okay, that's very interesting. And it was saying like you don't have certain foods within like a 2 hour period. So let's say you had fruit at this time, you need to wait a certain amount of hours before maybe you have, I don't remember if it was like a carbohydrate or a
Mhm.
protein. And then it was
Mhm.
saying like you don't have a carbohydrate with a protein. And I was like, as much as I enjoy a good hamburger, that's probably why you do better. Like I like a lettuce wrap instead of a bun
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
my burger, and I was like, that probably explains why. So
Mhm.
again, it's getting into the more specific. So for me, for 2024, one of the things is for me to really understand the why behind certain things and learn when to do things and how to mix it into my schedule.
Yeah.
So let's say, for instance, if it says wait 2 hours before I have something, well, I know during my 10 to 11 o'clock time, I can eat my fruit, but
Mhm.
then I'll have two meetings. So then by 1 o'clock, I can have my whatever I'm
Okay.
supposed to
Mhm.
have. So that
Mhm.
therefore, my body, because one of the things that the book said, which I totally agree with, is that your body has an ideal size and it knows it. And
Mm.
so it's just a matter of you doing what needs to be done so that your body can do what it needs to do.
Got it. Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
Which is
Mhm.
interesting again. So now we're talking about reflect. Now we're into the set part,
Mhm.
right? So now let's set our goals and be intentional about it. I was talking with someone the other day, and they were saying so many people are taking things instead of allowing their bodies to do what they're naturally designed to do.
Mhm.
And I am a person who, doesn't like to take medicine, doesn't like pain relievers or any of those
Mhm.
things. Not that I won't, because if it gets beyond the threshold of which my body can naturally do it, then I'll do it. But I feel like if we don't give our bodies a chance to do what it's designed and wired to do,
Mhm.
Basically, it's like numbing it. Again, these are just
Yeah.
my personal opinions. What are you
Mhm.
thinking?
Mhm. No, I mean, we come from, or we have a thought process that we can heal ourselves, right?
Yep.
So if we don't allow our body to even start to get into the space of healing
Mhm.
ourselves, let's just say like a minor headache,
Mhm.
which typically means that you need to sleep or you need to eat or you need to drink water,
That's right.
right?
Yep.
So if you know these things, like, let's start there.
Yep.
let's
Yep.
let's drink the water, let's eat, and let's take a nap if you
Yes.
can.
Yes.
If it gets to like a migraine, then it's like you excruciating pain, you can't
Mhm.
see, or you can't drive. Okay, then
Mhm.
take the medicine. But
Right.
our body is going to tell us what we need.
Yep.
So I fully agree with
Yeah.
what you're saying and putting our body back on its natural
Yes.
schedule.
Yes.
So
And it's so
yeah.
funny because recently I just kept feeling the need to eat more fruit. It was like eat
Yes.
as much as you can eat. And then when I read in the book, it was like you need to eat. Here I go. Well, that doggone explains it because that was the
Mhm.
message. And that's the thing, right? Again, intuition, trusting ourselves,
Yeah.
listening to our inner voice instead
Mhm.
of going, "Dag, why didn't I do that? I knew this all along." Okay, start
Mhm.
listening to yourself. Hence the reflection period
Mhm.
and trusting yourself. And I think that's
Mhm.
important. I know you teach and talk about self love a
Mhm.
lot. What are some goals that people could have for themselves moving into 2024 around self love?
Well, I think you hit one of the main ones right on the head, which was listening to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? What is it that you want? If you're seeking it from someone else, you have to give it to yourself. So whether it be, I don't know, companionship or just love. Like, you have to have an idea of what that looks like and feels like for you in order for
Mm-hmm.
you to receive it from someone else. Because ultimately, we always teach our clients, like, you have to teach people how to treat you. But if you
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
even treat yourself, you're waiting for someone to treat you a particular way. Well,
Yes.
John is going to treat you how he treated Susie before he met
Right.
you,
Right.
because that's how he's used to operating. It's like, oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
Susie liked it, then Keisha's gonna like it too.
Mm-hmm.
But Keisha, you're different and you require
Mm-hmm.
more because you have done the work to
Yes.
understand intricately what you need. So
Yes.
the first thing is, okay, looking at what you desire, listening to your
Mm-hmm.
body and giving
Mm-hmm.
it to yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
really the main component of self-love,
Yeah.
and just the reflection and your intuition and your internal guidance and
Mm-hmm.
turning it up and
Yeah.
really giving it to yourself.
And it's so funny that you said turning it up because what is coming up in January?
My abundant dinner.
You got it.
What? Okay, I'm like, what? So many things going on that we talked about. But yeah, so the abundant dinner is a dinner that I created
Mm-hmm.
amongst so many other things.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a time for reflection
Yeah.
about the upcoming year, how we
Mm-hmm.
can make it abundant for ourselves or the goals that we have, and just getting into a space of abundance with other like minded women. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get dressed. I think you and I should wear like emeralds because that's your
Mm-hmm.
color.
Yes, and that's my
Or you should,
birthstone.
yes. So you wear
Mm-hmm.
the emerald,
Yes.
I'll wear the
You're
red.
rubies.
I'm Ruby.
Mm-hmm. Or
April?
is April
No,
ruby or
April is
diamond?
diamond.
Okay. All
Diamond.
right. Yes.
But I do want to wear the ruby color though, so
Okay.
I may wear red. But we get dressed up and
Mm-hmm.
we break bread, we fellowship,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna talk about our abundant lifestyle that we want to step into moving
Mm-hmm.
forward in 2024. So yes, it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be a fabulous time.
Yes. Now, why? Why an abundant dinner? Why not just a regular dinner? Why not a get together?
Well, I'm not just a regular. I just don't do regular things. So a lot of my things have a theme to it, right? And
Yes.
abundance has been coming up for me a lot, right?
Yeah.
And just in our conversations, my
Mhm.
dreams and the things that
Mhm.
I want for myself, things that my clients are speaking of.
Mhm.
So just helping women, other women to tap into that abundant space. That's
Yeah.
really what it is, because everyone doesn't know how to tap into it. They
Yep.
may not even know really what it is, or that
Yep.
they can create the abundance that they want. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
combination of the self love, creating the love for yourself, but also creating the abundance that you want for
Mm-hmm.
yourself as well.
Mm-hmm.
So with the like, and it's a very intimate dinner. I think the first dinner is January the 6th. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's like 8 people.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one is January the 13th. I think
Mm-hmm.
so far it's about the same, like eight
Mm-hmm.
people as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very intimate, and I wanted it to be that way, just so that we can really like hear each other and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like share thoughts and goals, and everyone can feel comfortable. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a combination of the two.
Yeah. That's a great example of reflect, set, go.
Yes.
Okay. So Deana reflected on what she wanted for herself and what she wanted for her self love tribe, right? The
Yes.
SLT.
Hmm.
So one of
You just be making this up on the fly, because we never talked about that. Never. XLT. Okay.
SLT, y'all, the self love tribe. I can hear you. I can hear your group going, yes, right? Now we need t shirts. Okay. So, anyway, so we,
Okay. This is what I'm saying. Like, it don't even just be me. Like, this is,
this is it. This is who I am.
this is it. Yes.
So now, so
Next is
she
gonna be a
reflected.
song.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Lord.
So she reflected on that. She said, "This is what I want for self. This is what
Yes.
is needed for others as you've done your different self love cycles, right?
Yes.
This is what's needed. I'm recognizing abundance is needed. An abundant
Mm-hmm.
mindset is needed. That was
Mm-hmm.
the reflect.
Mm-hmm.
Set. Now, what needs to be done? Well, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? We can have self love socials.
Mm-hmm.
So you created those, and you had the what was the first one that you had?
The sip and scent? No, I think I had a brunch first.
Yeah, I think it was a brunch first, and then it
Mm-hmm.
was the
A
sip
brunch.
and scent.
Yeah, the sip and scent, we made the candles and everything.
Right,
And then the third one was the podcast.
the podcast. And
Mm-hmm.
so now then you was like, okay, now you're gonna have the abundant dinner. So she
Mm-hmm.
set these activities and then put them
Mm-hmm.
into action.
Mm,
Reflect,
that's the goal.
set, go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so that's what we're encouraging people to do. Reflect.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you want? What
Yep.
is it that you need? And let me just say this real quick about abundance. Abundance, many times we just think of it from a financial
Mm-hmm.
standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
but abundance, it can be anything. And so we
Yes.
have to be very specific about the
Mm-hmm.
abundance that we're calling into our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So, an abundance of love, an abundance of
Mm-hmm.
peace, an abundance of
Mm-hmm.
resources, an abundance
Mm-hmm.
of finances.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed, you want to say something else?
I don't want to. I don't know if it's going in alignment. It
No,
is,
it's all
but
right. Go ahead. It's fine.
so the other component too is the preparation for what we're calling in.
Yes.
And
Go for it.
so, when we keep going, or you
Yes.
wanna?
No, 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 no. I want you to keep going.
Okay, okay. So a lot of times we, like you said, we don't know how abundant we are. We just ask for an abundance of finances. But if
Mhm.
we ask for an abundance of finances, but we cannot manage our finances,
Come on.
what are we doing?
Mhm.
Right? It's a
Mhm.
waste, because it's like you're going to get what you ask for, essentially,
Mhm.
right? Provided that everything is in alignment,
Mhm.
everything is, good on your end.
Mhm.
But once
Mhm.
you have the abundance of the finances, what are you going to do with it?
Yes.
Are you going to save it, or is it
Yes.
for tuition? Is
Did you
it
give it
like
an assignment?
did you give it an assignment? And so we
Mhm.
can, because then if it doesn't have an assignment or a destination, is it greed?
Mm. What is it?
What is
Mhm.
it? Like,
Mhm.
what are you going to do with it? Even for the abundance of love, the abundance of peace, like, are you
Mhm.
prepared to receive what you're asking for? And so
Mhm.
sometimes the block could be your lack of preparation. Because
Mm.
and the thing too
Mhm.
is like, what? Get the tambourine, get the tambourine.
Give it to him.
I don't
Come
even know what I
on.
just said. Oh my
Lord
gosh.
have mercy. Hit the replay.
I know. I
Go
know. I'm
ahead.
sorry, y'all.
Go-
But that's how it comes. That's why we say get the pen and the paper.
Grab it.
Because I literally don't remember. But it probably will come back to me. But if you're not preparing for it,
Mhm.
we pray for
It's
these
gonna
things, and
come
we
and
keep
go.
praying, we praying, and we're like, why are we not getting it? It's because you're
Right,
not doing the preparation work to
right,
receive it.
right. So
So,
you
like, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, 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 go. You
So,
flow.
like, the people in your life may need to go. The
Mm-hmm.
job that you're at that's like,
Mm-hmm.
keeping you stagnant, you may have to move. You may have to
Mm-hmm.
physically move.
Mm-hmm.
You may have to do internal work, internal
Mm-hmm.
healing. You may need
Mm-hmm.
to exercise, move your body. But if you're not doing
Mm-hmm.
these things, or if you're not aware,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like you're in a bubble, right? And you're
Mm-hmm.
asking for the things, and everything that you're asking for is right outside the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not doing the work to pop the bubble to allow it to come in
Come
for you to
in.
receive it,
Mm-hmm.
then it's going to stay outside of your bubble.
Yep.
So
And
it's
not.
the work.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And right, and even that you don't see it. You don't even
Right,
recognize it
right. You
because you
can't even
haven't
see it.
done right. You haven't done the work, and so it's so
Hmm.
important. A lot of times, right? The in the delay is the
Hmm.
preparation.
Yes.
Instead
Hmm.
of focusing on the cry and the I've been denied, and
Right.
no, you've been given time to prepare.
Yes.
And so the infamous question that we ask is,
What I'm
why
gonna say,
is
what
this
you going?
happening for you?
Yes.
Right?
I
Not why
literally
is
told a
it
client
happening
that
to you?
earlier.
Good,
Yes.
good. Not why is it happening to you, which creates a victim mentality.
Yes.
It's why is it happening for you, which creates
Hmm.
a growth and an empowerment
Hmm.
mindset.
Hmm.
And so the delay, which is giving you time, as Deana's saying, to prepare, you go, okay, why is this being delayed? Why is this happening for me? Well,
Hmm.
you may need to get a financial investor.
Hmm.
You may need to open up a bank account. You
Hmm.
may need to put yourself on a budget. You
Hmm.
may need to check and see how are you spending and allocating money. You may need to call
Hmm.
back resources from different streaming devices and so forth and so on, right? This is an
Hmm.
opportunity for what's the first word of tonight's show? Reflect. It's an
Hmm.
opportunity to reflect and take honest inventory and see
Hmm.
where you need to. A lot of times, people are where you need to address and
Grow.
grow,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So, a lot of times, people are saying, but I want to be in a relationship. Okay, have you worked on communication? Have you
Hmm.
healed past traumas and hurts? Have you grown up in spaces where you need to grow up? Go ahead. What's going through your mind?
No, I'm just agreeing. I am agreeing. All of these things need to occur, especially
And they
with
need
a
time.
relationship, and they need time because, and your body needs to adjust
Yes.
to it because now
Yes.
that let's just say a person is 30 years old, right? So, like, let's
Mm-hmm.
just say from 15 to 30, that's 15 years of
Mm-hmm.
you operating in this space, and you're wondering why you're not receiving the love of your life. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's because you're still operating and doing things
You're 15.
the same
Mm-hmm.
way for the past 15 years. So
That's right.
from 15 to 30, your body is used to operating a certain way. So
Mm-hmm.
at 31, it's not going to be a quick turnaround of,
Right.
okay, we're ready. No, it could
Mm-hmm.
take 5 years.
Mm-hmm. To get
It
it together.
could to get it together and to get into
Right.
the flow of
Yes.
receiving
Yes.
and giving
Yes.
what you're asking for. Because you could
Right.
ask for a millionaire, but are you a millionaire?
Right. Right.
Like,
And real talk, I
mhm,
had the opportunity one time and I was just like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that.
mhm,
Like, I thought I
mhm,
would be very excited, but it
mhm,
was just like, And then the fact that it created all of these feelings inside of me, I needed to reflect
mhm,
on where was this coming from, and feelings of adequacy and or
mhm,
inadequacy. What
mhm,
was I bringing to the table? And I remember
mhm,
he said to me, he was like, what you bring to the table is more valuable than what's in my bank account.
mhm.
And I was like, yeah, I hear you, but your bank account is crazy, son.
Right.
So,
Hey, did you see that?
there's a lot of numbers, right?
Right.
So,
This Tesla.
it's definitely. Hey, yo, Brandon, what you
Right.
so,
This
all
Tesla.
right.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
For those who speak real, you
Yes,
understand what we're talking about,
yes.
right? It's
I'm
not just
sorry.
go hop on Instagram.
Every once in a while,
Yes.
we're just talking real.
So, but yeah, it was so amazing to me because as a person who had been teaching about an abundant mindset
Mhm.
and about setting goals and so forth, and I had been teaching this stuff for years, and
Mhm.
then all of a sudden here I'm in a situation where
Mhm.
I'm helping someone with their finances and so forth, and this is how come I had access to their
Mhm.
account, and
Mhm.
I'm looking at this account like that is a
Is this
lot.
real?
Right,
Mhm.
exactly. And I was just like, yo, I got a lot of internal feelings about this. And I
Mhm.
remember calling one of my girlfriends and I was like, we got to have a talk. Like,
Cause
I
we doing
feel
this
really
wrong.
right. I'm feeling really off right now. And like I said, and he and I were friends, so I could talk to him and tell him how it was making me feel. And he was like, "But what you bring to the table is so much more than these. Like these finances can come and go." He was like, "Your integrity and your values and this." He was like, "That's the real
Mhm.
value in a
Mhm.
relationship." And I appreciate
Mhm.
it and I totally agree. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
I had to keep it real though about my feelings of I just
Inadequacy.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. It was
Mhm.
like it was such an odd experience for me, but
Mhm.
it was good because right,
Mhm.
that's that internal work that we're talking about.
Mhm.
The other thing that you and I did, um, thanks to my persuasiveness, but you was on board
Mhm.
with me, was
Mhm.
getting the play money.
Oh yes, that Camille must have pulled it out. It's on my nightstand. I'm like, well,
Is
who's playing money? Okay, but go ahead.
right to
But yes,
get
yeah, it's still in my wallet.
yeah.
Mhm.
Right. To get comfortable because you're
Mhm.
saying you want this amount of money. And I
Mhm.
remember saying, it was like, okay, well, you got to give this person this amount. And I remember my
Mhm.
stomach saying,
Yes. Yes.
and I was
Mhm.
like, if you can't hand somebody play money, how you going to give somebody real money?
Mhm. Mhm.
Right. So, although it was play, these are activating real feelings
Feeling. Mhm.
and real thoughts and real blockages
Mhm.
that you need to choose to work through. And this is why the vision board or
Yes.
the play, the imitation, whatever you want to call it, stuff
Mhm.
practice is really what we're calling it.
Well, a part of my morning routine is
Hmm.
to write out my budget according to the $1,000 of that day, if that
Yes.
makes sense. So I've been doing this for the last 37 days.
Hmm.
So I'm up to spending $37,000 of imaginary money. So I
Hmm.
started the day off with 30, whatever it is. So tomorrow will be 38,000,
Yes.
and then I'll subtract it based off of the things that I want to acquire. So
Hmm.
I've cleared out all of my debt. I paid off my
Hmm.
car. I paid off my home. I put my
Hmm.
kids through Abington Friends for
Hmm.
fake, but it's helping me. I put like $20,000 in my savings,
Yes.
but
Yes.
it's helping me to get comfortable with spending large sums of money because
Yes.
if when it
That's
comes,
right.
I can't buckle. I
That's right.
can't waver. Like, I have to be confident. Like, oh yeah,
Yes.
30. And it's funny because I thought this morning. I'm like, girl, you was just breezing through this. Like, $37 spent, thirty-seven
Seven
thousand
thousand.
dollars
Mm-hmm.
spent in a day. Like,
Yeah.
coming from
Yeah.
my mom, we come
Mm-hmm.
from a very small town in Chestertown. So that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it can be a very small minded way of thinking where
Mm-hmm.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
you like the nervousness, like what you gonna do
Mm-hmm.
with all that money and then
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
this is helping me to think far beyond,
Beyond.
the scope
Yeah.
of what has been embedded
Yeah.
in me and rewiring
Yep.
my thought process.
Yep.
Because like I said, when it comes in, I want to be like, oh, okay, I already know what to do with it. Versus
Yes.
something that you told me to
Yes.
do, like be ready so you don't have to get ready.
That's right.
So it's kind of
That's
like
right.
put me in that frequency of like,
Yes.
okay, like I'm comfortable, you can come in like little by
Mm-hmm.
little, and
Mm-hmm.
with setting my intentions and getting into this space, opportunities have just been like coming, like
Showing themselves.
unlocking, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah. The
So
imaginary
important.
play and the imaginary budgeting of money. So I'll just
Mhm.
explain it really quickly. So the first day you start with $1,000 and you have to zero out the day. So I
Mhm.
typically just do things like that's like an even number, but
Mhm.
you can write down things that you actually want. So like if you want the Gucci sunglasses, but you have to look up the real amount of those
Mhm.
things, right? So
Mhm.
the actual amount of a pair of Gucci sunglasses that you would want, have
Mhm.
that in mind. So if it's
Mhm.
$100.10, you
Mhm.
subtract that, and then you have to zero out the day. So
Mhm.
every day you add, 1,000. So the second day is 2,000, and you go up
Mhm.
and you go up and you go up.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's
So
that's
what
been
I
my
do
daily routine.
now for me, what I do is I put it on an Excel spreadsheet.
See, too
Now,
old, like no. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Cause everything don't gotta be. Go ahead, go ahead.
but
But I
this
know it
is the
works for
thing,
you.
right? So this is the
Mhm.
thing. So right, and this is why I brought it up because
See,
I know
this
we
she
do it
take it
differently.
to a 10 level 20, but this is the range because we have the highly efficient Excel spreadsheet people on the show, I'm
That's
sure. So
right.
they're like,
That's
okay,
right.
yeah,
Yes,
tell it to
speak
me,
to
God.
me.
Go ahead.
Speak to
Right.
me, right? And so I set it up. I have my dates across. I have the items that I spent it on, and then
I
I
got
do my
anxiety. I
deductions.
got anxiety too much.
But this is how I do my stuff, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's your system vibrationally doesn't know if it's real or not real. So this is why I have
Right.
to do it exactly the same way. When I
Mhm.
do my businesses, I do an Excel spreadsheet, and this is what I
Mhm.
spent, right? This is how my accountant and I speak to each other.
Mhm.
I don't do it in a book.
Mhm.
So it
Mhm.
doesn't make sense for me to do it that way.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
Versus yourself. Go ahead.
Well, I don't do my business stuff in a book either,
Hmm. But
but that works for me because I'm a
right,
writer.
right.
So I like to write things out so that I can go
Hmm.
back and I can reflect on it because this is what my second or third time doing
Yes.
it, this actual activity. So I can see whereas the first time I did it, I did put down the Gucci shoes and the Gucci bag
Hmm.
and I got all of those things in
Hmm.
that same year that I got it.
Hmm.
But now it's like,
Hmm.
okay, because I know the power of me writing, right?
Hmm.
What you want to
No,
say?
no, no, no.
Okay.
I was glad that you mentioned that things came, but I don't want to distract you. Go ahead.
Okay. So now that I know that I'm able to obtain the things that I wrote down the first time, I'm like, okay, let's really get serious about wiping away debt,
Hmm.
saving,
Hmm.
investing,
Hmm.
private school education,
Hmm.
things like that, like
Hmm.
appliances for my home. Like the day, now you know the story, but
Hmm.
I needed a new washer and dryer. I had the money in my account for at least a month. The
At
day that
least.
I wrote it, hush, okay. The day, because I don't know what it is with that. It's like anyway, that's
Hmm.
another
That's an
another topic.
off-air session. Go ahead.
Right. But then people gonna want to know now because they're like, that's me too. I know I'm not the only one. So the day that I wrote it in my prosperity journal,
Yes.
I had no clue that I was going to get it that same day, but it was just
Mhm.
like, okay, boop, done.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like that. You put yourself in a space to spend the
Receive.
money too
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
to receive what you're
Yep.
trying to,
Yep.
so yeah.
Bring in and
Hmm.
be open to the way that it comes.
Yes.
That's
Hmm.
the piece that I was going to say. So,
Yeah.
right, you created it on your list,
Hmm.
right? You reflected on what you wanted. You
Hmm.
set what you wanted, and then the goal, it manifested.
Released it.
You released it. Go ahead.
Yes. So every day once I write my list out, I don't go back and reread like, oh, I gotta, I just release it until the next
Mhm.
day. And then on the
Mhm.
next day, I may not even really look at what I wrote the prior day. I may
Mhm.
look at, because some things have a balance. So
Mhm.
I may look at the balance to carry over for the next day. But other than that,
Mhm.
I don't look at the specifics of like, the breakdown and harp on it. So
Yeah.
once I release it, then it's like, okay,
Mhm.
it comes. So,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so it's important as you're reflecting on this past year, as you're reflecting and planning for next year and going forward, it is important that you, as Dina was saying, then release it,
Mhm.
right? You reflect it, you set your goals, and then part of the go is the release.
It's going about your business, I
It's
know.
going, that's right, it's going about your business. It's going about your action steps. Because there's a part that you play, and
Yeah.
there's right, and sometimes is the release is part of the play as well.
Mhm.
So from a basketball analogy, if I'm dribbling down the court, at some point I pass it to my teammate for my
Mhm.
teammate to do whatever it is that they're going to do, right? I've
Mhm.
done my part, and now I wait. They may pass it back for me to take a shot, or they may take the shot themselves, and I
Mhm.
trust the process.
Mhm. Yeah.
And with the reflect, set, go, it is trusting the process. And then when we sit down for another reflection period, we see if there's any tweaks that we
Mhm.
need to make. It may come faster than what
Mhm.
we expect, it may
Mhm.
show up in ways that we
Mhm.
don't expect. So
Mhm.
you may not have to buy the item, someone may gift you the item.
Why?
I'm just saying it.
Mhm.
It shows up in
It
different
did.
ways.
It does.
Yeah. So we encourage people. These are just different strategies and tactics that we use. It's interesting. I have been writing certain things about what I wanted to bring into my life financially. Um, and then when Edmund and I went away for his birthday
Mhm.
and our anniversary,
Mhm.
I got the hotel, went about my business, had
Mhm.
no idea, had absolutely no idea. And when we checked in, the concierge said, "Oh, by the way, this is Billionaires Row." So no, I didn't know that, but of course it
Mhm.
is. It's good to
Mhm.
be home. It's good to be home,
Mhm.
right? And now as we were driving, I was noticing the stores, and I was like, and so then I started looking up because I don't know name brands.
Yes.
So I
Mhm.
started looking up the name brands, and I'm like, okay. And I like jewelry, so I was like,
Mhm.
okay, let me see this jewelry. And I pulled up, and it was a pair of earrings in the store for,
Mhm.
I don't know, 180,000 or something like that.
Mhm.
And Edmund about bumped into the car
Lost
in
his
front of us.
mind.
Yes, he was
Mhm.
like, for what? And I was like, for those earrings. He's like, do you know what I would do with that? I was like, yes, I do know, and I would too. And I would not be wearing them on my ears, most
Right.
likely. I
Mhm.
wouldn't be mad at
Mhm.
them though. So just in case you want to get them, but yes, there are other things that we would do, which is also
Right.
the importance as you're talking about this activity of allocation, right?
Mhm.
How would you allocate the finances? And it's no
Mhm.
judgment, it's just clear on what it is that you
That
want
you
to
want.
do,
Mhm.
right?
And at whatever period of time that you're in within your
That's
life.
right. That's
At
right.
that time, I was like, trying to meet a status, and
Mm-hmm.
be top
Mm-hmm.
tier. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, okay, I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now
Cause
what else is up?
right.
Right.
I'd be like, give me a private plane and let's go to an
Right.
island somewhere.
Right.
That's where I would be. Like
And you know
earrings
what? It's so
or
funny.
experience.
Right.
Right.
Experience definitely over
Yeah.
earrings, but this
Yeah.
particular go around with that exercise is really about the debt
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
preparation for children. So it's
Yeah.
interesting to see
The
the
shift.
difference from the shift. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. So
Mhm.
yeah. So well, I'm excited, everyone, as we are now we're in our second year of the greatest blueprint.
Mhm.
Right.
Yes.
And this
Mhm.
is the end of this particular 2023 year and the
Mhm.
first half of this new format. So we thank you all for joining us these last couple months. We started September and here we are
Yes.
December, twice a month,
Mhm.
first and third Tuesday. And so we look forward to
Yes.
seeing you all on January 2nd which will be the first Tuesday of the month. So, for everyone who celebrates Christmas, Merry Christmas. For those who celebrate Kwanzaa as well, Happy Kwanzaa.
Mhm.
Uh, what else do we have? Yeah, I haven't looked. I think I'm trying to think. Have we passed through the Hanukkah? I got to take a look. We might be past Happy
Mhm.
Hanukkah. I saw the dates the other day. Um, let me take a look. Any message you have for people?
No, I think we hit on a lot of things. Just take the time to rest and reflect and, just
Mm-hmm.
focus on the things that you want for 2024 and
Mm-hmm.
go after it. Release them once you list them or, acknowledge them and you release them and
Yeah.
work towards them.
Yeah, Hanukkah ended. It was Thursday, December 7th to Friday, December 15th. So
Oh,
just
okay.
so it just passed. I
Just
thought it
that.
was over. Yeah, I thought it
Hmm.
had just come to an end. So yeah, and any other holidays that we don't know about, we do say happy holidays, and of course we say Happy New Year. And we'll see y'all. Look, I'll shake and turn on some lights for you.
Where the lights
There we
at?
go. There they go. Can you see them? It's
Just that
green,
one.
green and
Mm-mm.
pink.
I only see one.
There's one down
That
there.
one.
And what happens
Okay.
is it's shaking so fast. They are
Hmm.
blinking, but they're
Oh, I
shaking
can't
so
even see
fast.
him.
I know it looks
Hmm.
like it doesn't look like it is, but it is. So, all right, books. We got some last minute stocking stuffers. What tell them about your books?
So books, I have the 30-Day Self-Love Challenge workbook. It is a journal that takes you through your self-love journey for 30 days from
Mhm.
beginning to end. It gives you self-love activities. Yeah, and it just helps you go through the journey. Like if you can't get to a therapist and you want to start your journey, if you want to do it as a group, this is the best book
Yeah.
for you because you can all
Yeah.
do it together. I
Yeah.
also have How to Heal from a Heartbreak, which is an ebook.
Mhm.
Very quick read, very quick self reflection for you. It takes you through 5 steps to heal from a
Mhm.
heartbreak. So that's an ebook. Both of the books are linked in my bio. I also have new merchandise. I have Self Love is a Lifestyle sweatshirt. So it's
Mhm.
they're really cute. They're
Yes, they
thick,
are.
durable. They're stylish.
Yes.
On my page, if you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you can see different ways to style them. That's
Mhm.
also linked in my bio. And what else?
Mhm.
The Abundant Dinner, we have a few seats left for the January 13th dinner. That
Mhm.
dinner will be at Steak 48.
Mhm.
And that is at 7 p.m. on January 13th. The January
Mhm.
6th date is completely booked up in full. Thank you guys.
Mhm.
But I think that's it, right? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I think that's it
Yeah,
for
yeah.
now.
So
For
for
now.
now,
There's
yes.
always things coming. And for
Hmm.
me, of course, we have our stocking stuffer book. So we have The Greatest Soul Journey,
Hmm.
which is a workbook style journal to work you through your greatest life. So if you are interested in having your greatest life, you
Hmm.
need to work through this journal so that you can create it. It gives you that roadmap. Live by the Spirit, Volume 1, again, is a workbook style journal, food for thought, and then a space for you to write. And then my adult children's books, because I am proclaiming that I am the
Hmm.
number one adult children's book author in the multiverse, throughout the multiverse. And
Hmm.
so we have The Adventures of Froggy T and Bunny, The Reunion,
Hmm.
we have Feeling Feelings, Bunny Gets Bullied,
Hmm.
and then last but not least, that just came out in October, Froggy Foo and Mungu. Yes. So definitely want to check those out for selves. I did a reading. I did a live reading on Saturday, and it was so much fun. And the audience was completely engaged. There's nothing like speaking to an audience
Yeah.
and everyone's attention is on what you're saying. And it was like there was one moment when I was reading the story, and it was just like everybody paying
Everybody.
attention, like
Hmm.
everybody.
They want to hear what's next.
Yes, they did. And they were waiting. And it was so
Hmm.
funny because it was predominantly adults, but there were some children as well.
Hmm.
And they had it projected behind me, which I
Mm.
loved. So
Hmm.
I could just focus on the reading and they could see the pictures up top. So
Oh,
that was
got
great.
you.
Yes,
Yes.
and one of the parents came up to me afterwards and he was like, "I just have to tell you, my child was fidgeting and moving and flipping and everything. But the moment you started that story, he stayed still the entire time." He
Good.
was like, the fact that he was so engaged. And then this other person came up to me and she was like, "Oh, I understand why you said adult children's books." They was like,
Yes.
"It's very clear." I said,
Right.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they did. They came over, them people. They was just like, "Give me that book. What book were you just reading?"
Mhm.
So check them out. I always say don't let the pictures fool you. But you know what? As
Right.
an adult, I like a good picture book. I, I want to look. So I'll probably do some pop ups. So y'all make sure, if you're not subscribed to Ask Dr. Walls 525, be
Mhm.
sure to subscribe and join. I started to do a pop up yesterday because, believe it or not, it was the 3 year anniversary of my publishing company. Can you
Oh,
believe
I
it's
didn't
been 3 years?
know.
I know.
Mm-mm.
I can't believe it. But I was too tired. So I didn't do it. So I was like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna do something like talking to my
Mhm.
books. All right, y'all, I'm gonna
Yes.
do something for y'all. Now tomorrow I do have Stacy Amon on tomorrow. She's gonna be talking about her book. She's a music therapist. And
Okay.
so she'll be talking about healing in her book. So be sure to join us. That's at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow.
Okay.
And then I think that's it. That's scheduled. Oh no, I'm sorry. Edmund and I will be on Thursday night at
Mhm.
8 o'clock for
Okay.
Stronger Together.
Okay.
So I'll start
Mhm.
promoting those tonight when we get off. Um,
Okay.
so I think that's everything for now. So I'm super excited. You never know, there might be another pop up. So
Mhm.
y'all stay ready. Okay. Any final words before we go?
No, we're good.
That's it. All right. Good night, everyone. Happy, happy,
Bye.
happy everything. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.